Well, hey friends, welcome back to Watavue Mountain. Yep, we're at the mountain today. So short, quick video today, little update. So what we had done in the previous video is kind of washing out. So what we done is got our buddy Lynn here to come up with his bulldozer and see if he can get this straight. So let me turn this camera around. I'll show you what we're talking about. So if you see here on the short side, it might be a little tough to hear me. This road is flat. So when we had it done before, they didn't put a crown on it and they didn't put a tilt on it. So what Lynn's gonna do is on that left side, he's gonna keep knocking that down so the water, as we're looking at this road, flows from the right to the left, because we're gonna use gravity to go with us, because the right side is higher than the left side. So he's gonna push that down all the way down to that mud hole, because the mud holes were gone, which I'll show you here in a minute, but they reappeared. So let's walk down here past where Lynn's working right now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's a great example of what I'm talking about. On the left side here, they got the other guy cut the berm out, but you see there's no ditch on the left hand side here for that water to run down. So the water's coming back into the road right here and going down the road. So he's gonna push that down so that it all runs off on this little turnout instead of coming back here in the middle of the road. So here's where those mud holes were. Here's where that first one was. And again, I don't know if you can appreciate how it still goes up. So you see that he did a runoff there, but water doesn't travel uphill. So we got to push that down to give that water somewhere to go. And it's tough to tell because of all the pine straw. You gotta love the pine trees, free pine straw. But some ruts right there because this area right here is holding water. Not nearly as bad as this area over here. So same kind of deal. You see the big ruts there. It's dry. We hadn't had rain here for a couple weeks now, but we had about a good solid week of rain. We came up and this right here was just a nasty swampy mess. So now this goes down a little bit over here where he pushed this out, but it's still not enough to get all that water to flow that direction. So he's going to come on down and he's going to push that out as well. So let's go back up to the big hill and we'll take a look at what that looks like now. Again, it's probably been about a month or 6 weeks since we had that initial work done. All right, let's kind of walk and talk again here. This top piece isn't too terrible. It's got a little bit of tilt to it, and the tilt I'm talking about is here. We want this side to be higher than this side so that the water runs, where's it at? Right there, and runs down that way. You see how the water's coming right down the middle of the road right here and just washing it right back out again. Again, the bank right there is higher than the center, so all that water is just washing right down the center of the road. So as you can tell, again, this is 6 weeks worth of rain. I mean, it hasn't been raining for 6 weeks, but whatever our normal rain is. And here there's all the way down. So I kind of shot myself in the foot, right? Because as you remember, we talked about knocking down those swales. So right about there, there was a big old swale across there that was bottling out my truck and the trailer as we bring the trailer up. So I asked the guy to knock those down. At the same time, I asked him to do whatever he needed to do to control this drainage. And as you can see, it's not being controlled at all. It's just going right down the center. And then over here on the left, I'm sorry, on the right, you're right there. Again, that's up higher. So you can see this water right here is trying to go that way, but that side's higher. So, and it's all the way down. So hopefully Lynn can get this straightened out for us. We can get that tilt, because everybody tells me, again, leave your opinions down below, but everybody's telling me on this steep of a hill that a crown is not the way to go and do ditches on each side. That the way to do it is to slope this to one side. So in this case, we'll slope it to the right side, get all the water running over to the right side to a ditch, then it'll run down to these shoot offs on the right. But again, here you see just water going right down the middle of the road wherever it wants to go. Now down here towards the bottom of the hill, you can see that water staying to the right, but I don't know if you can tell, but the slope of the hill now naturally veers to the left instead of to the right. So what we're going to try to do here, because as you see, this water now is just coming straight down the middle of the road. It's on the left hand side of the road, on the right hand side of the road, and coming right down the middle of the road. So what we're going to try to do here is, again, water just goes where gravity takes it. So we're going to try to veer this off to the left instead of the right to get that water to cross over and then do another shoot out over there. So let's let me get out of Lynn's way, let him do some work. Once he's finished, we'll come back and we'll take a look at it and see how we like it. So as a little bonus, we had a little extra time. Lynn came on up and just widen this main road out a little. You can see, push some trees out. It's just so much nicer now to get up here in the truck. Again, eventually probably we'll put some rock on this. Not today though. Let's go take a look at this mud hole and see what we did here. So we were talking about this runoff. So you can see now he pushed that back, and then that right side there is down lower. So that water's going to come here, and it's going to come from the left, and it'll come there, and it'll go down that runoff. So that's all squared away. Same thing with this second mud hole. And then all the way up, we'll drive up there because I got to go meet him anyhow. But same thing. We'll just drive up there and I'll talk about it while we drive. Same thing here. It's tough to appreciate. It is sloped to the right. It's tough to tell, I think, from here. Maybe we'll get out and we'll walk. Let's do that. All right, so not a crazy slope, but you can see it sloped to the right just a titch, just enough to get that water to run off to the right side, hit this berm on the right, and it'll come down to that to where he pushed it out. And then the same thing all the way up. And that's all it took. It maybe took him 30 minutes to do this. But just get that cant on the road. Just a little bit sloping this way so that water comes down and then hits that runoff and just keeps going. So looks 1,000 times better than it did. Hopefully this sticks. And again, if we got to put rock on this at some point, then we'll put rock on this at some point. But we're still working on the cabin, so most of our fundage right now is going towards the cabin, not towards the road. And this should get us through the winter. But you can see it better up there, how it really slants right in there, turns, and then it's gonna hit that washout. So he's still working on the steep hill, so let's walk up there and see what he's doing. Well, as you can hear, he's still working on this, but if you get down, you can see there, that's that slope we're talking about. Just enough where that right side's a little bit lower so that that water travels from left to right and it goes off into that push out. So let's walk a little, you see what I'm talking about. Like I said, I think it's hard to appreciate on the camera, but we got it going off to the right now as you're looking at it all the way down. Just a little bit of tilt to the right. Hopefully this will hold out. We're going to work on getting some rock out here in the next couple weeks. The turnouts, so the swales, you can see right in there, there's a small little swale. Let's turn around and look at this one, you can see what I'm talking about. See how there's a little bump there? Just enough to help turn that water so it comes off now to your left. So that's what we're doing. So let's drive to the bottom and let's see what we did down there. From the bottom, now you can see we got a little tilt to the right because as we're coming down the hill, we wanted to go that way instead of straight up the middle. All those big ruts are gone. And then as we walk up a little bit here, same thing. I know it's tough to appreciate on here because it's not a giant steeping, super steep slope, but you see it went down and he did another run out right there for that water to come on down and cruise around the bend. So looking from the bottom, looking up, you can see that's got some nice tilt, nice little berm. I might run over this a couple more times with the truck just to knock down the dust, but one good rain, this thing will be good to go. Good looking tilt to the left there, so that's what we're looking for. So there you go, friends, just a quick little update. Hopefully this will be less than a 10-minute video. You see this is all looking pretty jam up right now, and like I said, eventually we'll get some rock on it. Maybe not. We'll do an update video when we do that. We'll see when the time comes, but in the meantime, thanks for coming, thanks for checking us out. We are truly blessed. God is good. Absolutely beautiful day for us to be out here doing some work and to have friends like Lynn. Of course we paid him, but way less than we paid the other guy, and so far it looks way better. So thanks for coming, thanks for checking us out. If you like our channel, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you know when we post new content. Look over this way somewhere, probably I'll post a video. It's probably going to be something related to the cabin build because we're still working on that too. So until next time, thanks for coming, be safe.